Counseling Services. They're located on Main Street, right in the middle of Jewett City, and they are accepting new patients right now. Individual, couples, family, and group counseling are all services available at Life's Journey Counseling Services in Jewett City. Find them online at lifesjourneyct.com and click on Book Appointment for information on how to start or to simply get questions answered. Life's Journey Counseling Services has multiple therapists on staff, so your questions, concerns, and counseling needs will all be met. lifesjourneyct.com. It's the best place to start your personal journey to heal, become a better version of yourself, and strengthen your relationships. Life's Journey Counseling Services, 70 Main Street here in Jewett City, lifesjourneyct.com.
This year, Jewett City Savings Bank is proud to celebrate an incredible milestone: 150 years of helping individuals, families, and businesses succeed. Thank you to our valued customers, employees, neighbors, and community partners for putting your trust in us. We look forward to celebrating with you and to continuing the important mission we started back in 1873 to give every individual a chance to thrive. To join the celebration, visit jcsbank.com. Jewett City Savings Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's just vapor. Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Mike Minarski and Rich Wasilek in the morning and 80s all day and night.
They're not human. They control the Matrix. SN.
All right, good morning, everybody. How are you? We're going to try to figure this out.
What are we figuring out?
I don't know. The microphone situation.
It's.
You have one on your headset?
Yeah, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. Watch this. That's why you're you, Melissa.
That's what I'm here for. State the obvious for you. No problem.
Here, you can have this.
Oh, thank you so much.
Watch this, kids. Ready? Wow. This is what happens. All right, so this is what happens when we have people coming in as guests. And so this morning we have Alex Grzelak coming in. Mm-hmm. So he'll be sitting next to Kathy. And then Melissa's keeping me
in line.
In line.
Again, that's what I'm here for.
God. So what happened at the borough meeting last night?
So at the borough meeting, we had Al Basilicata was presented with a plaque and a gift. For those of you who don't know Al, he's the gentleman that you'll see on Main Street frequently, cleaning, sweeping, shoveling in the winter, all that, stuff. And he does that just because he wants to. And he spends hours and hours and hours volunteering, all that. I saw this one moving.
Yeah.
So, we wanted to recognize him and all the work he puts into keeping Main Street clean and kept. So we spent a little time recognizing him last night. Yep. And then also Val, who has been there for 20 years and is retiring. So we recognized her and all she's done for us as well.
Now she's still working for the town.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep, right.
So, and she's obviously not going to run again.
Right.
So she's retiring altogether. Mm-hmm. So the borough has a new town clerk, which is Karen Langlois.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Yeah, she's already been coming to our meetings for the last month or two now, and doing a great job. So that transition went well. And then what else? Borough meeting. After our last vote, where it was voted to purchase the building at 2 North Main, that process is underway. Doing all the normal purchasing,
right,
things. Title searches and all that fun stuff. So that's underway. 10 tentative closing date, I believe Warden said July 1st, but as we all know that, closing dates never stick like that. So that could very much change.
Yeah, boy, do we know that.
Yeah. But it's all underway. No issues so far with that. Just going through the process. What else? I think those are like the major highlights, I guess. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but
It's pretty cool that, that you guys honored Al.
oh yeah,
and
well deserved.
Yeah, when I come in the morning, especially every morning, he's in the parking lot here.
Yep. Yeah, he was right out front when I pulled in.
Yeah.
When I'm leaving for work at 5:30 in the morning.
He's out, and he's out late at night too.
Yeah.
The guy's nonstop. He is nonstop. And does a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Takes great pride in the work that he does out there. So, and he's out there in all sorts of weather and everything. So
it's even to the point sometimes where he's actually gotten hit by cars.
has he really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What's up, Alex?
How you doing?
Hey, we're gonna have you move this way.
Okay.
Kathy, if you can move that
that
way,
way more?
yeah, a little bit. Just give
This
Alex some
chair
room.
is ridiculously high, and I'm not sure.
I need a step ladder to get into it. No,
Oh.
I'm good.
All right, so we have a special guest this morning, Alex Grzelak from the Board of Finance, the chairman of the Board of Finance. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Good. So, town meeting is over,
Yeah. So we're at the last step here.
and now it's referendum.
That's it.
When's the referendum?
It's next Tuesday, 6 to 8, and it's at the town hall, I believe.
6 a.m. to 8 p.m.
8 p.m. Right.
Okay. And of course, the big news on it is that it's a 0% increase.
That's right. Yeah. Which I'm extremely happy about.
I
Extremely
don't know
happy.
how you guys managed that.
Uh,
It took a lot to get to that point.
so, if anybody has any questions in the chat room,
Yeah. Let it rip. I'm happy to answer what I can for sure, and I'll run over some numbers here with us. If you want to start with that, Mike. So,
well, hold on before
Yeah, go
Kevin. Why are you saying microphone parts from Radio Shack?
Oh, maybe that was from a previous. when we were
I
talking
don't
about
know.
the Microphone.
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
No, I checked everything.
Okay.
Everything should be fine.
That might be a leftover comment from earlier.
No, I don't think so because I started a whole new stream here. So now I'm going to find out because I'm paranoid, and I got to find out how things sound because a lot of times I think they sound great and then they don't. So with that being said, Alex, go ahead and
okay.
say what you want to go ahead and talk about.
Okay, so I just want to run through some numbers for everyone so that they're kind of start the conversation off. So I just want to run through some numbers.
It works great. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so bottom line, it's a 0% tax increase. Our spending increased, but we were able to offset that essentially two ways. Number one is our grand list grew at a much higher rate than I think people expected. It grew to I don't know the exact amount the grand list grew, but I think I know the tax base grew by about 600,000. So that was very.
Now, where does that come from?
That's all new
construction.
New construction and permits, that type of thing. Yeah, which is great. Number two, and I think with home prices being so high, that probably had something to do with it. Number two, the state actually, I should say there's three reasons. The second is the state really, I don't want to say threw us a bone, but they came up with this new, and I don't know all the details yet. They came up with this new, I don't know if you want to call it agreement, but essentially the way that we pay into the pension system for town employees and school employees is going to save the town, save the school budget about 600,000 this year, in the town.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a ton. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's a huge amount. Yeah, and this isn't statewide. This isn't just for Griswold or anything. Eric, actually, our finance director, was on the. They had like a committee that was working with the state treasurer to come up with this new. And I don't know exactly. I don't know the complete details, but it's going to save all a lot of small towns in the state a considerable amount of money, which is huge. That's huge for us.
Well, the money's got to come from
I was
somewhere.
going to say that almost makes me a little skeptical. Like, what's the other side to that?
Well, I think it's I don't know the legalese behind it, but it's something to do with contributions. Maybe they have to contribute more or something. But there was. I mean, there's nothing. Even if there was a caveat, there's nothing we can do. It's a state.
Right.
It's a state. You know?
It's still a savings. Let's go with it.
We're okay
accepted
it. And that's like I think like something like a 30-year deal or something. So it's a big deal.
Wow.
So it's going to happen every year. It's not just
it's not a one-time thing. Well, I mean, the savings. I mean, we won't see like that much of a savings next year because it'll be baked into the cake already, right?
It'll be like $60 next year.
Well, I mean, the way we computed it this year didn't have the savings in it, so that's why it got reduced by so much. But next year we'll go in knowing that we have to pay less essentially into the pensions. Right. The next thing would be we use the reserve fund. So we had, as I've mentioned on this show quite a few times, I think most people are aware we have a pretty robust reserve fund. Even after we're spending $850,000 out of it this year. Even after that, we're going to have over $7 million in it, and that puts us at 17.38% of the budget. And so there's a policy in the town that
you have to
be with.
Can't have so much, right?
18% is the town policy maximum. And 8.5% is the minimum. So we're even with spending that much, we're still at we're pushing the maximum. So it's great. I mean, it's good news all around.
Alex, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So if that's the case, why don't we just pay off the field? Why are we bonding it? You know, if we have that kind of if we have that kind of money in a slush fund or whatever you want to call it, rainy day fund or whatever. Now I don't know. I'm not going to claim to know anything about finance,
right?
But I know if I've got 18 million in a bank or 17 million in a bank, and the field's going to cost $4 million, why are we spending money on?
No, we only have 7 million. 7 million.
Oh, 7 million.
It's 17% of the budget, right? So if we were to pay off the field, it would put us in a pretty bad situation as far as the reserve fund.
Then I misunderstood.
All good. No, there's a few things you have to. It's kind of a balancing act because the reserve fund is used to look at. They look at it when they give us bond rates for one, so they want to make sure you have enough money to pay your bills in an emergency. Number two, you don't want it to be too high because the state looks at it and says, when it comes to grants and such, they say, oh, you have all this money in your reserve account. You don't need a grant, right?
And I think the other part too is you have to look ahead to upcoming years and may need to be used to offset.
And the thing is, one
too.
thing that we can, and we did consider putting some money towards the field, but I think one of the good news stories about how bad inflation is right now is our savings. We actually make, that's in essentially a savings account. We make 4.5%, I think, off of it. So the bond is going to come in. Eric thinks it's going to come in under that. So it's kind of we're going to be making so much money off of that it's better. It kind of offsets, and it's better to have it as an emergency in your back pocket, or who knows what's going to happen next year with the budget. But hopefully we can continue using it at a rate that we don't deplete it, but we can keep taxes at a good amount. So, no, I think another thing to highlight here is so usually for people that aren't aware, most years the capital committee, which is its own committee, they have capital improvement committee. They try to put $1 million towards the roads, right? A lot of people, it's a contentious item. People want the roads to be good. So do I. I mean, we all do, right? And so last year we funded it over $1 million. I think like $1 million, about 1.2 million. And this year we actually used 250,000 of that reserves to put additionally towards the roads. So we're putting 1.25 million towards the roads. So, yeah, it's great. I mean, it's great all around. I mean, it's I'm excited. I think I don't see too many downsides, to be honest with you. So
I guess what a lot of people don't see is what is actually being done with this money. Even at a zero,
right?
That's pretty amazing,
right?
So the question is what's it going to look like next year?
Yeah. Well,
is this like the calm before the storm? And
I wouldn't say, go ahead.
No. I'm going to ask a follow-up after.
Okay. I don't think so. My personal opinion is no. One of the reasons being is because we still have a pretty good sized reserve account, and we're lucky. Our tax revenue is always basically we collect almost 100% of the taxes that we levy. We're I don't our town's very good about paying their taxes.
Leona goes door to door.
Oh, basically, yeah.
Look
No,
out.
I think she's every year. It's like literally 99%, which is amazing when you think about it.
Do you ever see that movie Better Off Dead?
No.
No.
Oh, that
Yeah.
movie's so
Yeah.
funny.
Right, and you got the guy looking
Paperboy.
the paper boy. I want my $2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. Yeah,
Following
Yeah.
him around on
Hey.
his bike.
So thank you, Leona, for helping. with
Yeah,
that.
seriously, yeah, that's great. So I'm gonna be honest. I'm not too worried about next year. It's hard to say. It's down the road. But I think we're in a very good financial spot. And also, like I think I mentioned at one point during the budget process, I kind of wanted this to be I don't want to say Hail Mary, but I wanted to pass a 0% increase so badly because, again, another hot button item, but the infrastructure project, at this point, we're being promised that they're going to be breaking ground in the fall. Now, is that going to happen? That's what they say. But,
It keeps getting pushed up.
I mean, I've talked to Dana, and she says that it's going out to bid in June, so this month or July at the latest. So we're hoping. We're hoping that's kind of basically. I think everyone's trying to hold the door until the infrastructure can get put into place, and hopefully economic development will follow.
We need economic development
Oh, desperately.
badly.
Yeah,
I
desperately.
mean, we're it's
You
have
know,
to have it.
I agree totally. But all things considered, I think our town's in a pretty good situation. We have a lower mill rate than a lot of towns around us. Another thing is, again, I was 110% behind the field, and I'm proud to say I still am. If you go down there and look at that,
it
it's
looks awesome.
it literally, you put your jaw on the ground. You feel like you're in like a college stadium almost.
really
It's
does give you some
unbelievable.
pride to
Oh yeah.
go and look at that.
And so there's no doubt in my mind. If I was a kid in 8th grade, I played football 4 years. If I was a kid from Voluntown, I'm thinking, should I go to NFA? And I came up to that field alone, I'd be like, oh my gosh, it's a game changer. So another thing that the Board of Ed helped us with, and this helped with the revenue big time. Actually, I forgot is I think I mentioned this last time, but they created an agreement with NFA to have. Well, you've always been allowed, I should say, for the last couple of years to come here if you're from Norwich, but Norwich Board of Education, for whatever reason, got rid of the other schools.
They sundowned a couple of schools,
right?
yeah,
which is huge for Bacon, Waterford, schools that are kind of similar to us, and that alone, I think, brought in I want to say 12 special education students who they pay quite a bit more. The town pays I think almost $50,000 per kid per year for that. So, that's another huge. It's huge for us.
So here's it's election year.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Is it?
I
hadn't heard.
Yeah. It is. So let's say, and I have no reason to believe either way, whether we're going to have a Republican first selectman or a Democratic first selectman.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if it flip flops and all of a sudden Alex Grzelak, is no longer the Board of Finance chair? So, I guess what I'm saying is, and this is the thing that always disturbs me, is that I think personally you've done a great job in this position.
Thank you.
I think Scott Davis, did a great job. I think you guys are pretty much close to the aisle. It's not Republican, Democrat, whatever. It's what's best for the town.
Right.
I think this is probably the one board that is, that is.
Yeah.
So what happens if you stay in? Okay, that's one thing.
All right.
But what happens if another person comes in that doesn't have the same vision as you do? Where do we go?
It's hard to speculate. If Democrats took over the Board of Finance and I got voted off the chairmanship, that's the way it crumbles. It's fine,
Right.
And Scott, same thing happened to him, and he's been great. Like you said, we get along so well. I think 2 years as chairman, there's been very few times that the vote even hasn't been unanimous on things, so it's a unique situation with us because there's such little animosity. I mean, yeah, obviously we debate things, of course, but it wouldn't bother me. I'd still do my job fine, and I do it. And the good thing is, I think the vision of the board is pretty much lockstep, which is good. Now, if someone comes on and wants to, completely change that, then we'll have that debate. But I'm not worried about it. Whatever happens. Unfortunately, Dan Webster isn't running for re-election, so there is going to be some. No matter what, there's going to be some change. And I don't know about the Democrats who's not running or what, but there is going to be some change on the board regardless. But so yeah, I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine.
Well, I think you'll be fine either way. But I think you just got to kind of look at it, because I think we get a little complacent.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, everything's great. It's going to be the same thing next year,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden things change,
Yeah.
and it's like it's not so great.
Yeah.
And all the only thing that happened was the room at the top.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But I think I think the Board of Finance, any meeting I've watched or seen or anything, it doesn't seem to be any dissension.
Not really. It
seems like everybody pretty much has the same vision.
Right.
So I don't think I have a problem with it. What's going to happen, I think, but I think some people this close to election may be a little concerned if they thought about it, like what would happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. We'll continue doing I'll continue fighting for the things I believe in, certainly, and but I'm not really worried about it, which is great. I mean, that's the thing I think some people don't realize unless you go to a meeting or you're tuned into town politics, it's so different than Trump versus Biden or something. It's like a different world. Yeah, the system we operate in, you have to pick a political party, but if you went down the line, I think people would agree or disagree on things that their party is in lockstep with, and vice versa. There's a lot of things I don't agree with Republicans on, and I don't agree with Democrats on a lot of things too either. But the bottom line is, when it comes to small town politics, you're not arguing about abortion. You're arguing about how much we should spend on a road or or a
You're
field.
not sitting there going Trump 2024.
Right.
We're not waving flags anywhere.
Right. So so obviously there's a small amount of tribal politics, just because it's a system we're in, and you have to be basically have to be in a party, and you have to get endorsed and stuff. But I mean, I've seen people from both parties arguing tooth and nail behind the scenes big time. So it just
Who were they?
no, not happening.
I bet I know one of them. Not you.
No.
But I'll throw the name out later.
Okay. All right.
When the microphones are only on a little bit.
Hey, we've had big time people in town switch parties within the last few years. It happens. So it's not, it's
That's politics.
It's
that's the game.
Yeah.
You got to kind of play the game a little bit.
You gotta, so.
Did you have any questions or anything you wanted to talk about as far as the?
Not really. I mean, I've been following. I went to some of the meetings and watched online. I think streaming was huge this year. Having that available and then having it available afterwards for people to go back and watch, I think was huge. But no, I mean, I think they all worked very well. With everybody that presented, all the department heads and all of that. I mean, it was very obvious you guys were all very open-minded about what was being presented to you, and trying to find that balance between what's best for the town, what's best for the department, what's best for the taxpayers. And I certainly did not envy the job you guys had, because some of those meetings were pretty tough, and trying to make decisions and find that middle ground. And I mean, you guys nailed it. I don't know how, but you guys nailed it.
Thank you. One thing I just thought of is I want to highlight also is, which I think eventually it passed the vote, but I think Dan Webster and I particularly were pushing. The youth director actually got a full-time assistant, which is I think is so critical. I mean, Ryan does such an amazing job, and
very little.
Right. I mean, and the thing I don't think people realize too is that his department offsets a lot of the cost to the town with fees and such, to the point where I think I don't want to say something, wrong number, but they cover over 50% of what the town pays them, right? So it's a no-brainer, and adding that position, he's already talking about adding, adult sports leagues and
I
this,
saw that. He posted stuff
he's gonna
out
have
there,
some
what kind
right,
you want.
yeah, he's gonna. I think he can, and he's great, and I think he can expand things in the town so much. So really a no-brainer. I think it costs the town a little bit of money, but what we're gonna get in return is excellent. So that's one thing to highlight, certainly. Yeah.
I think the way, if I remember right, the way Ryan put it to me, it says, if imagine how much money that I've been able to bring in. Imagine a second.
Right. Yeah.
So that's always good, and the town wins either way.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah, and if you have adult programs and things like that you're able to expand to, that expands to outside of Grizzle too. You have those other people that you can pay. They pay out of town. I used to play softball in Colchester because there was nothing around here, and I had to pay an out of town fee.
I paid a league in Norwich.
You have to pay quite a bit extra to pay in a different town.
And guess what? We have a brand new field to do all this stuff on. So it's I'm super optimistic about the town. I really am. I think the town is in great shape, and it's doing great, in my opinion. So
just got to work on that economic development.
Yeah, of course. That's nonstop. That's 24/7. We have to, that's a never ending fight for sure. But
we still won't put in full contact karaoke. I tried to get the youth center to do it, at summer camp, the 7-year-olds, probably not going to happen. Wheels on the bus go bam. It's probably not a favorite for the recreation team to put forth.
Yeah. Might be some local establishments that may take you up on that.
Exactly.
Support local.
What kind of a role does the Board of Finance play in economic development?
It's a great question. When I got elected, and I think going in, I was a little naive to the fact that unfortunately it's not very much, because you need someone like the Selectman's Office or the Economic Development Commission to be boots on the ground, dealing with someone considering coming in, meetings all throughout the day and such. Basically, the Board of Finance is kind of like we kind of put their toes to the fire, because when the town people approve a project for millions of dollars and it's not getting done, that's in our purview to, where we hold the purse strings, and therefore we need to make sure that things are getting done that the town wants done. So we have every single meeting we talk about economic development, what's happening and such. But it's really, unfortunately, the executive's job to push that. It's, if someone called me up and said, "Hey, I'm interested," believe me, I'd do whatever I could. But it's hard for us to
probably send it over to Mario or Tom.
Right, and hope they, bring it to fruition. But I think funding certain items is really our job, and making sure we spend money frugally and that type of thing. But
anything coming down the road that the Board of Finance is looking at funding, for the town that maybe hasn't gotten out there in the mainstream, that people that don't go to a meeting haven't heard?
Well, again, the only thing I can think of is the infrastructure project, because since it's been put off so long, we're pushing over 4 years. As we all know, the prices of everything are insane, or in most cases are higher, and so we don't, we don't know exactly. I think the consensus, I would say, we haven't talked about it too much, but I think the consensus would be that we're going to do as much as we've funded. Even if it's scaled back, I would prefer to do it scaled back than bond millions of more dollars, to be honest with you, because for whatever reason, we could talk about that for hours, but it just hasn't been done yet, and it needs to be done. So that's really the only thing big spending wise. I can't, our capital improvement, like I mentioned, capital was funded, no cuts to that whatsoever. So, the town works department got like a new truck and a couple other things. The school got some things. So there's really.
So we're improving the town. I mean,
I think the town's in great shape. Yeah.
Yeah. You're definitely, moving in the right direction.
Right.
With the things that the town needs. Like, especially, I think the truck was a great idea.
Right.
Can you explain for the folks that don't understand a lot of the, the mumbo jumbo and the terminology,
right?
what is infrastructure? I mean, I understand. I think
Right.
we all understand it, but I don't think anybody understands. Okay, we're going to fund infrastructure. Well, what are we funding?
Right.
Infrastructure. What's that?
So, for those who don't know, there was a town-wide referendum in May 2019 that funded three projects. One being the school pipeline, which put natural gas to the school. That's long done.
That's done.
Long done. Yep. That came in, I think, like $50,000 under budget on time. It was great. We funded the senior center project at the same time. We all know what happened, but it's done.
It looks great.
It looks great. Hey, it's water under the bridge, and
We've moved on.
we moved on, and hey, it all worked out because hey,
and we've taken the savings and built a field. Here we go.
Yeah,
Sorry,
kind of. No, I wish, but and then the last piece was a water and sewer project that we're going to extend out to 201 and 165. Four. I always get them mixed up.
me too.
Always. I lived here forever. I always get them messed up. So basically, think the
I can't 138 and 164.
Right. So think basically, for people who don't know the stop property, it's basically from the when you get off the exit until River Ridge, essentially. That's really the area that's, again, for many years been talked about getting developed, but the argument is the big companies say, well, we need water and sewer in order to really develop this. And then think 201 towards when you get off that where the commuter lot is. I can't remember the exits now. Of course, they changed the numbers.
I don't know.
Basically, the Patchogue exit or the Hopeville exit, right there.
Used to be 84.
Right, exactly. Right there where there's an empty lot there, extending it to that point to, again, hope for economic, so that would be the total package. And at the time, man, it's been so long. I think it was about 6.5 million. But again, for litany of reasons, the can's been pushed down the road. So we had Eric and the first selectman, I think Todd had started the process and Dana's finishing it, has worked with the USDA to get it's like partial grant, partial like guaranteeing our funding. So it's like a 30% match, I believe. So that's going to keep the cost down somewhat. But the thing is, that's only for, the government bureaucracy, the government bureaucracy, even at town level, is insane. That's only for the water portion of the project. So then there's talks about how do we get the sewer like hooked in with that. One other silver lining is when COVID hit, all these towns got ARPA money, which I don't know, American Rescue Plan money. And our town has basically saved almost all of it to put towards the infrastructure project to keep that, to keep the cost down and hopefully be able to do the whole thing. So the rumor, and I guess the only thing economic development wise that I can think of that was really got off the ground a little and I think plunged back down to earth was we've been talking about this for years, was this Heritage River project. So for people that don't know, the town put in the state has a program where distressed municipalities, which Griswold is considered one. The criteria changes, I feel like, every day. So I don't know exactly what that means, but has to do with income, I think probably even test scores, stuff like that. And they basically made a grant program where they'll work with the town to if you're going to develop something that's, I think, they're going to benefit a nonprofit like Heritage River is, they'll pay a portion of the project and stuff. So the town put in a grant for I want to say $18 million to get this off the ground. Unfortunately,
it was denied.
And they're going to. I talked to Dana. She feels, and Eric, they feel pretty good because the state didn't just deny them. Luckily, they came back and said, give us XYZ more backup. And there's another round, I believe, in September. I think there's 3 or 4 rounds of this. So hopefully next time it'll be approved. It's touchy because it kind of takes away our power a bit, because you're making a deal with a nonprofit and the town will have complete control, and plus the tax it won't be necessarily all taxable and stuff. But I think the bottom line is any development down there, which would include a YMCA for people who don't understand, which I believe that building would be taxable, would be great for the town, bottom line. So
they're 501c3.
Are they? Yeah. So maybe not. The tax code's so some things could be, some things aren't. It depends. But again, any taxes from development would be great. And it comes permits. That's all.
That's big.
It
you
is.
Don't realize how big that actually is.
Yeah, there's could be permits for $50,000 a whack. Way more than that for a project that size, right? So, that's really the infrastructure project that we've all been talking about and arguing about for 4 years now, and hopefully it comes to fruition, because I think that, personally, I think that's kind of that'd be the icing on the cake. If we can develop those two areas, we all know those are our best two areas. And again, every time I drive to Lisbon, I go to Lisbon Landing for literally basically everything. We all do, right? I just say to myself, what a disgrace that Griswold couldn't have a portion of this, and
we almost did.
Oh, we almost did, but
even the latest, they have.
Oh,
that,
now you see more
things. That little, it's not huge.
It's gonna be a Starbucks, right?
A Starbucks, a mattress place, two other openings.
On the
But we could have put that somewhere. We had space for that.
Right.
That's drives me nuts.
It drives me nuts every time I see the shovel going into the ground there. I'm thinking, oh my gosh.
But if I'm Starbucks, honestly,
Yeah,
I'm not going.
Of course,
because there's nothing there.
Right, you're going to go next to the.
Yeah,
you're going to go next to
all the traffic is.
But hindsight's 2020. But we missed out big time.
But
so
we also have 395 running right through us. Easy on off.
Easy on off. That's why That's why we were in such a good position, because both of those exits that we're talking about developing they're perfect. Especially one of them that goes to Foxwoods.
Right.
How many
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Anything that's fast food or anything like that, that's a no-brainer. Even that gas station there.
Yeah, Petromax.
That place is
so well.
it's every time you go there,
and their gas is
always
higher.
expensive,
Yeah,
and it doesn't matter.
But
People are all right.
driving through gas station.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
they have so
captive
much
customer.
Yeah.
Their traffic is so heavy there. The Girl Scouts go to sell cookies there
Yeah.
because they know.
Yeah,
they sell liquor and they sell not liquor, beer,
wine,
they
I
sell
think.
sandwiches.
Yes.
They have the little deli.
It's great, and that. So that's economic development. It's great that got put in, but let's do 10 times that.
We have to add on to that.
Right. It's so.
You find some people don't want to do that because they like the small town feel, and they feel that maybe more and more areas of the town are getting taken away with the possibility of development.
And
the whole not in my backyard.
Right. NIMBYism. Yeah. Not in my, I actually know, because again, those are such great locations that you have one little small neighborhood right off the exit there on the right. But would they be really affected? I don't really think so. Not that much.
I don't think so.
No,
because they're set back.
Right. They're set back, and that's the thing. It's not like we're talking about, developing right next to the state forest or something. We're talking literally right off the highway, where there's so much traffic anyways. It's such a no-brainer. And
I agree.
I think we put the infrastructure in, and hopefully the businesses follow it very soon after.
We're not going to until we do it.
No, I agree. It needs to be done yesterday. It does. It does.
Yeah, we're behind the 8 ball, definitely.
We are.
We have a lot of catching up to do.
And it's frustrating, because think about how the bottom line is our town's very fiscally conservative. We spend very within our means. We're a very blue collar town, not rich, and we spend within our means. That's why we have budget. That's why we have so much money in our reserves, because we spend responsibly. And you see if we could just get a little bit of economic development, I think we would have such an opportunity to have such a steady tax base that we could see non-tax increases for years and years to come. And I think that, partnered with the school increasing tuition, which it constantly does, I think we could be a great town to. I love the town.
I think we already are.
We are
getting better.
Right, we're getting better, and that's like I said, that would be it. That would be if we get economic development, tax base,
if you get infrastructure down 164, that's
when,
game changer.
not if.
Okay.
When.
Well, it's been it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
been
it's
it,
been
you know.
4 years. Yeah.
It's happening.
So that is.
Sooner
I'm
or
telling
later.
you, if you get somebody that's interested after the infrastructure
Right.
and they're on the fence, bring me to that meeting.
You're right. You're
Bring
right.
me to that meeting because
You're
I'm
right.
going to look at that. I'm going to say, "What do you want?"
Right. What are you
This is
waiting
easy
for?
on, easy off. You
Right.
have water, you have sewer.
Yep.
There is no reason for you to say no.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it. It's perfect. And so in that aspect, it's good. It's positive, but we need to have it done. We need shovels in the ground done. You know, we need it
Yeah.
done. We need it done.
And we need ideas too. If you have ideas, go to the meetings.
Yeah.
Email the economic development folks. You know,
Yeah, here
email
these-
the first selectman's office. You know, you have ideas. You think you have a good proposal or what? I mean, share it. Come to the meetings. Watch the streams. Get involved.
Your data centers are an idea.
Oh Jesus!
Oh my gosh.
I'm so sorry.
I've heard in 30 years of living here, I've heard a lot of things are an idea, believe me. But yeah, but hopefully that'll.
I'm surprised nobody in the chat room has anything to add or.
Well,
No, there's
it's,
no
we're being too
Yeah.
positive. You know how it is.
Yeah.
It's
You're right. You're right.
You know how it is.
If there was a 4% increase across the board, people would be bitching.
Oh my
You know, it would be all over the
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, they would.
You know, right now it's like, all right, yeah,
Yeah.
sounds cool.
Yeah.
Sounds
What's for breakfast?
good. Yeah.
You know,
Or wait till later. They'll be on Facebook and they'll start complaining about something.
we got a pretty robust crowd out there just on Facebook right now, and I didn't even share it to Grizzled now. I don't ever do that anyway.
Oh really?
No.
Yeah, I know you're not too big of a Grizzle Now fan. But,
You know, I'm a big Carl Lucier fan. I like Carl.
I like Carl too.
You know, who doesn't
From
love
when I-
Carl?
when I-
You know,
yeah,
Carl.
Griswold Now is a great form of entertainment and a
Yeah.
huge time suck. If you just need some brainless like entertainment,
Yeah.
scroll Griswold Now and
I think people have moved to TikTok today.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a little
Yeah.
guilty of that myself.
Court Kinney, hey Court.
Hey, Court.
The town can't control the asking prices for commercial properties.
True.
No,
Which is true.
true,
You
but
can negotiate,
You can negotiate.
but yeah, and of course, right now the prices of everything is sky high.
So like the price of the old or the property from where the RV place
yeah,
flag.
Yeah,
Yeah.
next to Petromax.
I hear that the price is like out of bounds.
is it? Yeah.
Probably. I mean, I guess it depends on how badly they want to
It's a
sell
nice
it.
piece of land too.
Right.
It is.
But you know what? If I think it's easy to say I want $10 million for this, but when there's infrastructure there and a company's got a check on the table saying, you know, you
Mhm.
want this,
Right.
I think people are going to move off their asking price. I mean, I don't
Just to
know.
unload it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. I'm not too worried about the owners. Just those owners have wanted to sell those portions of land for, you know,
Yeah.
many years. So, yeah, I get it's high, but someone's gonna bite. I think.
I would think.
Yeah,
That's a
I mean,
that's a
it's-
really nice piece of land.
It
there.
is.
I think it's
It is.
prime. Once you get the infrastructure there, it's a prime.
It's prime. It really.
space.
And once you get the infrastructure, you can put essentially anything. Like that water and sewer can accommodate almost anything you can think of. So.
That's the big piece.
Right. I mean,
That's it right there. That's the missing piece of the
Right.
puzzle, the missing
Right.
link right there.
right.
And it's been in front of our face the entire time.
right.
Yeah, really. It's been
Yeah.
right there.
It's really
Yeah.
frustrating.
If only they put it to a town vote. You know. If only
Yeah.
You know,
we've done everything. It's yeah.
if we had that infrastructure there in the 80s, Walmart would be here
Yeah. And then everything else
because
you
they
know,
looked at us first.
really. Yeah. Now I don't know exactly, but I heard back then it was a big time NIMBYism. Oh, I don't
Oh,
want all
yeah,
that.
yeah.
You know,
Sure.
I don't want all that here in my backyard.
Yeah.
You know, but
A lot of old money.
I still
Yeah,
hear people
yeah.
complain about that stock property.
saying what that they don't
They don't want it developed, or that they
Because it looks so great now.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
It's a
I know,
jungle.
it's like you literally turn off the highway. Welcome to Griswold.
Oh.
No, the people
That's what
that
you
live
see.
in that little neighborhood
Yeah.
that you mentioned, they don't want.
Well, I'm sure they don't, but
They don't, and I know that there are some folks that have made comments about not wanting to develop that area because they don't want the traffic increasing in that general area because they live there. That is their area.
I don't
I
know if the
don't-
traffic would increase that much. Quite
don't know.
honestly, I don't.
I think that
mean,
traffic
there's
is
already
really-
a bunch of traffic there
on
anyway.
that main road, yeah.
I mean, you got
you won't be able to
Foxwoods
notice
traffic.
it. okay, if it's more, I mean, it's
I think if something happens with Foxwoods, I think we got a problem.
What do you mean?
Because I think that's the main
to
drive.
get
of-
anyone north
Oh,
of
yeah,
here
yeah, yeah.
to get there. Yeah.
Yep.
Larry Boston or Laidley.
Oh,
5 acres of highway access with infrastructure in place. I don't think they will have issues selling once the first business builds.
Agreed.
Right. Yeah,
agreed.
yeah, once you get it
I think it'd be
started.
dominoes. One
Yep.
comes in,
Yeah.
especially if they're relatable and
Mhm.
businesses and stuff.
yeah, 'cause they get feed off each other. They
right,
can,
right. It's yeah.
And I think once the infrastructure goes in, I think someone's going to want to be the first.
Yeah,
I
certainly.
really do,
right,
because that is
Right.
just.
They'll
We
have
need a Taco Bell.
yeah. We need a Chick-fil-A. That's what I want.
I've
Yeah.
never had
Oh,
that.
wow.
Yeah,
I
it's
know.
good.
I've never
It's
It's
had it.
excellent.
But on the
Really?
casino.
Yeah, the
I know.
casino.
Oh, I
it's
know,
good.
I know,
It's really good.
Not on Sunday, though, because they're
I
closed
know.
on
Right,
Sundays,
right,
you know?
I
right.
know. That's fine. Whatever. But
Yeah.
I still Taco Bell. Let's do.
I think we
Taco
need some more mattress stores.
Yeah.
We need some more Dunkins.
Bell. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
yeah.
don't have
Shops
enough
those
Dunkins.
mattress stores.
Funny lovers.
I've never seen one person walk in or out of
I
there.
never see anybody there.
Never, not one. But
I've
hey, if they're
just-
gonna pay taxes and shit, you can put up shell buildings.
Yeah,
for
right.
put up a bunch of
Seriously.
buildings and just let them sit. I don't care.
Uh-huh.
Go over there next to the new massage parlor.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. How about Steak and Shake?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
we'll
let's
take
do
it.
something
Oh,
different.
we'll take it.
Dream here a little
Let's
bit.
dream.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Some In-N-Out burger.
Oh.
Get some, like some other
Smash burger.
Yeah. Let's do some other something.
Yeah.
Different.
Somebody build something so Kathy doesn't have to DoorDash it.
yeah.
Please and thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, yesterday it was Uber Eats. I did an Uber Eats
All right.
order yesterday.
I just think it was funny. One time Kathy goes, she came in and she goes, guess what I DoorDash? Was it
Taco Bell,
It was
yeah.
Taco Bell.
Nice.
For-
And I'm-
For like $100.
Yeah. They don't give it away.
Literally,
They don't
it was-
give it away when
The
they DoorDash.
delivery
man.
was
Oh.
$11.99
Oh,
just
yeah.
for the delivery because it's
Yeah.
in Norwich.
And then she gets her
Yeah.
cravings for Dunkin'.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dunkin'. I've seen people. My sister.
She gets her coffee, her
Your
sandwich,
daughter.
and a donut, and it's like $30.
Yeah.
Your daughter
Yeah.
will go ahead and DoorDash Dunkin'.
Yeah.
She hasn't done that in a while.
But she's done it.
She's unemployed at the moment, so she doesn't
Oh,
have any
yeah.
money.
But believe, hey, there's a reason they're charging it because people do it. I mean, it's
yeah.
nonstop. It
Guilty.
really- yeah.
There's been a lot of businesses that have become essential
Yeah.
because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
completely changed a lot of the.
Look at what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Streaming.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. It's.
I'd like to say that we had a hand in getting other businesses and municipalities to stream.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
what I
there's no
mean?
doubt about that.
Yeah,
there's
for
no
sure.
doubt about that. There's no, and now in this day and age, it's a must. It really, it's a must.
Yeah.
So.
Larry, are you hungry this morning?
Yeah.
What? Did you and your wife didn't have breakfast? Or he goes, Route 12 Tacos need to open longer again, and you
Oh,
won't need
yes.
Taco Bell.
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
Still need Taco Bell.
Taco Bell's.
You need healthy competition.
You got to get that Mountain Blast blue drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is right there.
And that needs to be taken up with Liz, anyways.
Yeah.
Nothing
Oh,
we can
yeah.
do about that.
Yeah.
Is
Route
that
12
is that
Taco's
closed
good, though.
permanently? I don't even. I
Route
haven't.
12, and
No.
it's open. They have select hours.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They usually post on Facebook.
She if you look at the building,
Yeah.
on the right hand side,
Yep.
she's built out a place for where autistic people on the
Oh.
spectrum.
Yeah, it's like a
And she-
special needs.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
she has
Yeah.
different areas
Gotcha.
set up, like
Yep.
she's got a kitchen, she's got a
Mhm.
bedroom,
Yeah.
different
Oh,
things.
Okay. I didn't
You know,
that.
so yeah, so you can,
Yeah.
Yep.
if you're a functioning autistic person
Right.
or whatever, you
Yeah.
can learn to either live on your own
Yeah.
or,
Yeah. That's
or
great.
even in an assisted
work.
living
That's
facility
amazing.
or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
She employs them,
Yeah. That's awesome.
Right. So, and they were, and I can't say, I don't know if they still are,
Right.
but they're the folks that are going to that are working
at.
Mhm.
at Route 12 Taco and
Yeah.
select hours.
Yeah.
I don't know how many
Gotcha.
days
Gotcha.
or how many
Yeah,
hours.
they have a
they're
Facebook
open.
page. They usually keep it updated and
Do
we'll
they?
post
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
There's another place that kind of does that too, and that's what is it? The Renaissance House in
Oh, is
Central
it
Village.
Victoria?
Victoria
Yeah,
House.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
They
Yeah.
do. Yeah. I think all the workers there. I mean, they have some people who kind of oversee them.
Like
but
the job
Yes,
description
they
stuff,
they bake and they do all kinds of
I
stuff.
hear the muffins are amazing.
I've had them, yeah.
I've
yeah.
never been
Yeah.
there. Now I'm gonna have to try it.
Yeah.
and they're only open to like 11 or 12. They're
Yeah,
in the
it's-
morning.
right,
That's it.
right.
Yep. Good to know.
But it's cool
So-
for them to, functioning member of society,
Yep.
Yeah.
working. It's great.
Yep.
Yeah, it's great.
Let's see.
Yeah, I know it's kind of boring when it's all there's nothing.
I know there's nothing to debate. There's nothing to right?
there's
Nothing contentious.
I know. Yeah, it's
It's a good problem to
and
have.
some more. I think good news. The state, I believe, at least the House passed their budget that is going to be a tax decrease for income tax decrease, which is
They passed it?
the House did so, and they expect it to pass the rest. So
Wow.
yeah, wouldn't that be nice news for once?
Jeez.
I know it's things are looking kind of up here. It's pretty amazing.
One thing that I always think of when I hear of there's a possibility of a small tax hike,
right?
In town,
Right.
or thankful for a 0% increase, those kind of things. I think that with a 0% increase in also the increase in the grand list, that would also say that more people are moving into town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly right. Which is great. Also great.
Which should help the possibility of infrastructure and
All that.
economic
It
development.
helps everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
It helps everything. So.
yeah, but
That's
it's nice to hear, that these things are happening, and it
Right.
doesn't, I mean, hey, it's cliche, but Rome wasn't built in a day,
Right.
Mhm.
Right. But
I tell people all the time, move to Norwich.
yeah, I know.
Do you know what their mill
came,
rate is?
I came from Norwich.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I moved here from Norwich
In the
years ago.
40s, I believe. I mean, you're talking
Yeah.
thousands more a year for a normal
Yes.
house. Thousands
Yeah.
of dollars.
Colchester,
It's a lot.
Yeah, a lot of towns are more.
Waterbury.
Yeah. Oh,
is
yeah.
Mhm.
Waterbury,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
those New
Yeah.
London's bad. That
Mhm.
they're in the high 30s. I mean,
And look where we are. We're positioned next to these places that
right.
have
You
things
can
that
still
we
go
get to,
do it, but
and we still have a mill rate that is palatable.
right,
Mhm.
very.
Yep.
You know, and that's without large amounts of economic development. So just think if we can,
If we had it,
we could,
When we get it.
when we get it,
When we get it. All right.
we'll be in good shape for many years to come. Yeah.
Kathy and the power of positivity.
Yeah.
That's right. We're gonna get it. Larry says, remember when Governor Weicker
Oh,
said
jeez.
that the income tax would be twilighted at some
Yeah,
point?
Yeah.
The income tax was temporary. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
I remember when he was running too.
Listen, like 50 years can still be considered temporary in the grand
Yeah.
scheme of
Yeah,
1,000,
yeah.
right? I mean, it's temporary.
Sure.
Not for the people paying it. It's
Yeah, I
not.
know.
Yeah, it's
It's still
Like,
there
haven't
50
heard
years
that.
later,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
it's-
Was it 50? That was
Oh, no,
40.
it wasn't.
Oh, 40.
No, that was in
No,
the 90s.
Weicker was in.
Oh, 90s?
early
Okay,
90s.
30.
30 anyways.
Yeah.
And it's gone up quite a few times since. So,
Yeah.
right.
So, anything else you want to mention about the budget? 0% increase next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. Yep.
6 a.m. to 8 p.m. at Town Hall. That's
Yep.
both districts.
Yeah, I believe
Okay.
so. Yes.
Okay. So
Yep.
District 1 and District
And
2.
two is there, right?
Yeah.
Um, I can't think of really anything else.
Are there any questions on the ballot or any questions?
Not to my knowledge.
No?
No, it's just the two. It's just the two budgets.
Is it worded straightforward or does it have like the double, triple negative
Uh,
kind of backwards?
Unfortunately, that's not up to
wording?
us.
I
but,
know it's legal.
Yeah, but
yeah, I know.
I think it simply says, should we appropriate X amount of money? So that's another thing. People
Shall the town
Yeah.
appropriate X
for
dollars
for the town budget and then the school budget. They're separate.
Yeah. And then it mentions the fiscal year.
Right. But it doesn't say this is it doesn't say this is a 0% increase. This is
Right, right.
No.
nothing.
Right.
Just so hopefully the word's
Are
getting
aware.
out that it's,
Are you kidding me? The next day, people are going to be like, "What vote? I didn't know there was a vote happening."
I know.
Yeah, right.
I know.
And
What are
that's
you
their own
talking
damn
about?
fault.
Of course it is. It is.
That's their own damn fault.
I tend to agree
Absolutely.
with you.
Shame on them.
I do. I
Yep.
mean,
Because it's out there, it's everywhere. It's posted in town hall for those who aren't on social media. It's on the library sign. It's just, you have
Is it
to
in the
open your
newspaper?
eyes. Yeah. I think they still do have to post it in the
They
newspaper.
legally do,
So
yeah.
if somebody is actually buying a hard copy of the newspaper, you should see it.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah.
Who's doing that though?
I know, yeah. I can
People
think.
that
I can think of a lot of
people that
ways
aren't getting
better
their
to spend
news
your
from
money,
Facebook.
but
Or the people that are complaining that their newspaper wasn't delivered this
Oh
morning. They're
my
on Griswold
gosh.
now.
Yeah.
Where's my
oh
newspaper?
my gosh.
It's with your missing dog.
I mean, any day they could go out of business. So I mean,
I
get
know.
ready. I mean, get ready
Seriously.
for that.
You know what?
I mean,
That
I'm-
is true.
it really
Yeah.
is.
Mhm.
There's also another paper that is also.
I think
Really?
papers and
Yeah.
newspapers in general,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I think
It's just the
that
times have
era's-
changed. Yeah,
that
the times have
era's kinda
changed.
gone by.
The bulletin is trying to acclimate to a digital
Yeah.
Right.
a digital copy. You know,
Yep. Subscription,
Right.
and then people
Yes.
complain that they have to pay the subscription to read their stuff online. It's like, well, you can't have it both ways, you
Right.
know.
I know the Norwich Bulletin was advertising like a podcast that they wanted people to subscribe to listen to. It was like 99 cents. And I was like, huh. And I went on Spotify. I found the podcast.
Yeah, I know. That's another. Yeah, that's the thing. It's you pick your phone up, you can find anything you want.
Pretty
Basically.
much, yeah.
So
yeah.
it's tough, but
Of course, I've heard this a million times, and this is Larry putting it out there about the referendum and the 0% increase. You never told me, even though it was on the bank in the town, online, in the mall, in the paper, on the news. You know, I never heard about it. You
Yeah.
can come knock on my door and tell me personally.
Yeah. Yeah.
we were told that.
I've said that a million times.
Yes. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Mike with your Griswold update.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, literally.
On to the next person.
And then you'll get to one neighborhood, and the next day will happen, and then it'll be
The one thing I can
do that
say,
on Earth Day. You know, I mean,
the one thing I can say that the town I think should do is they have is it called Nexel, or where you get like a robocall, Nixel, where you get like a robocall
12 of them.
for like
right.
where you get a a robocall telling you about important things that are happening in town. Something like that I think
Right.
would, but again,
Those
you
are-
have to sign up. You have to opt
Those
into
are
that.
those are hard to be effective. The second you pick up a call, we get 1,000 spam calls a day.
Yeah,
You
of
pick it up.
course.
Yeah.
This is so boom,
Yeah.
But I get your point.
I mean,
but
it's just another,
Right.
Um,
I mean, there were people. I remember. You probably watched it, Mike. There were people at the field meeting saying how they didn't hear about this X Y. I mean,
they just shoved
it's
it through
it's
last
the biggest.
minute.
It's the biggest
Ugh.
news we've had in how many years?
Oh,
what do you mean it's morning?
Yeah.
Nobody told me it was morning after night.
I
Where do
know.
I find this information?
Right.
the other thing, I think the other option would be to add into the budget next year a line item for mailers. Have budgeted money for mailers for things like
See,
this. Because a lot of the older people, older generation, are not online. They're not able to get out and drive around.
I think that's a big chunk of
Mailers.
change, though,
It would be.
for just the older generation.
Mhm.
Because honestly,
I'm not a huge, I agree. I'm not a huge fan of but for those folks that
yeah.
it's just another option. It would have to be in the budget, obviously, to cover those expenses. But other than those two things, I have no idea how else these people want to be notified of things
Right.
going
Right.
on. No clue.
No,
And when you ask them, they don't know.
they don't want to be notified.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
They don't want
They want to
Right.
be able to
That's really it.
complain
And
after
right,
the fact.
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
unfortunately that's some
Uh-huh.
people just they're just
Yep, I agree.
And it's the same ones.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I'm not going to name drop it. I got
No.
3 right
Well,
now.
yeah.
I can- boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. All right.
Well, we're still doing great work, I think. So
Yeah.
the town's doing great.
Any parting words for today?
I don't think so. No, I appreciate the invite. And
no problem.
Come vote
Thank
on
you.
Tuesday.
yeah, everyone vote for sure. And I'll have to make a visit after the fact, maybe. And
And people can view the budget.
yeah, it's all on the town website. Yeah, they can view every line of it. Yeah, so
On the town
All public
website,
information.
as soon as you open up the town website, there's actually a notice that pops up
Yes.
right away about the referendum.
about the referendum.
And I believe it still has a link to the budget.
So if you don't know
Sure.
what the website is, it's grizzled-ct.org.
Yep.
And you can sign up for email alerts also. So if they
Yeah,
update things,
I get them twice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but you can
but
sign
get 'em.
up. You can sign up for email alerts. So if there's something that's posted, an agenda, minutes, a notice, whatever, you can get an email alert. So another way of being notified of what's going
See, I don't have a problem getting notified twice. I'm just, if I get notified, that's great because you know what I can do? I can hit delete
on. Right.
on the set, on the other one.
Right,
So,
right. You'd rather get it than
Yep.
not. Yeah.
but yeah, I get all the notification. Well, you actually can choose.
Yeah. What
You know,
wanna
the
get
boards
notified
and
of.
commissions you want.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Notified,
Yeah.
Wow.
and also the minutes
Yep.
as
Wow.
well.
Minutes,
Yeah.
agendas,
Wow. I didn't know
all
that.
of it. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it's good information.
Yeah.
So anyway, Alex, thank you very much.
All right, guys.
I
Thank you very
appreciate
much.
you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right, and
I will be in touch. And
I got to get out of here.
no, not at all.
I do dig the Gene Simmons hairstyle.
Oh, thank you.
I really do. Christine,
Yeah.
Bye, Alex. All right, so Alex Grzelak, he's the Board of Finance Chair, and he gives good information. And he speaks like I guess the way I'm like in layman's terms.
Yeah.
So everybody can understand that. He's not hyper technical or anything like that. It's pretty easy to understand.
Yep.
So, do you guys have any questions or any statements about the budget? I mean, we didn't really have a lot of people. I mean, there were a bunch of people in here, but it's just maybe they were just kind of listening and checking it out.
Yeah.
Plus, we never know how many people are listening, going to our website and listening off of YouTube, because that doesn't factor in the number.
Well, and he made a good point. There's nothing really contentious. What are you
Right.
I mean, 0% increase. Who's going to complain about that?
Right.
Norwich residents.
Yeah.
All right, Kathy. Thank you very much. What's today?
Tuesday.
Which are we getting a Waslock on Thursday?
I think so. I don't know. I have to check my work calendar. I know possibly Friday.
All right.
Because Rich is teaching a class on. Oh yeah, Thursday I can because I took it off.
All right. So
I'll be here
so we'll see
Thursday.
you Thursday and Friday, or possibly, or maybe Rich on a Friday.
Rich, no, he's teaching a class on Friday.
Oh, that's right. He did tell me his week was crap this week.
Yeah. Actually, he'll be at town hall doing a CPR training or something.
Yeah. All right. All right. We out of here. Thank you very much, guys. We will see you tomorrow with Paul Ash right here on SNSN. So have a safe day and see you tomorrow.
You buy better.
Better it burns.
Much better.
So much better it burns. The right insurance at the right price. You buy better it burns.
You buy better. It burns. You buy better.
When does your insurance matter the most? It takes a lot of time and attention to set it up. You pay the premium, and hopefully you don't have to use it. But what about when you do? Who's there for you when you bought your policy from a website? Are you at the mercy of an 800 number? Is there an office you can stop by to sort out all the paperwork with a professional? At the Burns Agency, there is licensed agents who quoted, serviced, and maintained your policies from the start. 24-hour support and real people there when you need them. Call the Burns Agency today to experience why you do buy better at Burns.
Much better.
Better it burns.
Much better.
So much better it burns. The right insurance at the right price. You buy better it burns.
You buy better. It burns. You buy better.
You see the signs everywhere. No alcohol if under 21. No tobacco under 21.